So okay students, welcome back to the today's session of pavement design. So in the previous session we are discussing about the types of stresses which has been developed in the rigid pavement and what are all the formulas which is related to find out the stresses in the different region in the pavement. So that may be interior, edge and the corner. So here mainly two types of stresses are there. One is wheel load stress and the warping stressor, that is the stresses which is developed because of the temperature variation. So in wheel load stress we are having the three formulas, and warping stress is nothing but the stress which is developed due to the variation of the temperature at the top and bottom layer. We are having the three formulas, and lastly there is a friction stress. Only one formula is there to find out the stresses which is developed because of the friction. So in the today's class, so let me see, so what are all the design steps which has been followed in order to design a rigid pavement. So thereafter we need to discuss some of the problems which is related to the stresses in the rigid pavement. So let us start with the session. You just see here the designing of rigid pavement in the sense of what are all the steps you need to follow. So first what we need to do, so what are all the data you need to collect, so that has been listed here. Just they concentrate on the explanation. So in order to design this rigid pavement, the first thing is we need to find out what is the maximum wheel load which is coming on the pavement. So that may be the repeated wheel load which is acting. So in the entire design life of the pavement, so what is the maximum wheel load which is coming on the road surface, that has been decided. The design wheel load is first decided. So after deciding of the design wheel load, the next thing is, so we need to decide which area you are constructing the pavement. So what is the weather condition, what is the temperature variation. So because, so what are all the stresses which is developed, so that is warping stress is because of the variation in the temperature only. So which locality we are constructing the pavement, so based on that what is the temperature difference and what is the variation, so that has been estimated in order to decide the thickness of the pavement. So that is what the second step. So that is where we are constructing the pavement and what is the temperature variation. So according to that we are going to decide what is the thickness of the pavement. So since it is rigid pavement, in the prepared subgrade, above the prepared subgrade we will come across the some thickness of the slab will come. So there is no any different layers are there. Subgrade is there, so your sub base is optional. So otherwise the entire the slab is existing on the subgrade. So we need to decide the, so what all the thickness of this subgrade, so based on the decided design wheel load. So the different layers, so what may be the subgrade support, what is the thickness of the thin plate of the pavement, that has been decided. And since we are dealing with this rigid pavement, so there is some joints will come. So because in the flexible pavement, so there is no any joint, so we are continuously constructing the pavement surface, so with the required length, or it may be the many of the kilometers. So but in case of rigid pavement, so there is a contraction joints and the transverse joints are existing. The spacing we need to decide first. So what may be the spacing between one panel to the another panel, and what is the time of curing is required, since it is the cement concrete pavement, so that the spacing of the contraction joints and the longitudinal joints, so that has been determined. That is what your fourth step of designing of the rigid pavement. So now wheel load is known and the type of variation of the temperature is known, thickness of the different layers and spacing of the joints we have already find out it. So after that, so what is the next thing is we need to analyze the pavement. So before going to construct, what we are doing, so we are analyzing the thing. So based on that we are providing what all the number of the bars are required, dowel bars we are providing, what is the thickness of the concrete. So therefore, in order to do that, so what we are doing, so we are calculating the warping stress and the wheel load stress because of the wheel load which is acting on a pavement. So by considering this design wheel load, so what is the wheel load stress which is coming and what is the warping stress which is coming on the pavement, so that has been calculated by assuming the any trial thickness. So some thickness we are assuming 600, 800 mm, so whatever the relevant thickness, so approximately by considering the thickness of the pavement, we are finding out the what is the warping stress as well as the wheel load stress which is developed in the pavement. So and if it is within the permissible limit, so then that thickness is okay. So otherwise, the trial and error method, we need to consider the another thickness and we need to analyze the pavement by calculating the stresses which is developed in the pavement. And the most important thing is we need to consider the factor of safety also. So after calculating the stresses which is developed in the pavement, so the next is the design life is estimated. So how much design life you are designing, so whether it is for 10 years, 15 years, so what is the design life of the pavement. So after that, the stress ratio, we have already discussed what do you mean by the stress ratio. So it is the ratio of flexural stress to the flexural strength of the pavement. Flexural stress to the flexural strength of the pavement. So here if the stress ratio is more than 0.44, so then there is a chances of fatigue failure. I have already told you what do you mean by the fatigue failure. So if you are having the pavement surface, the wheel load is acting. So because of repetitive wheel load acting on a pavement, so there may be a whatever the material we have used in the pavement, so there is a deterioration of the material because of the continuous application of the wheel load. So this type of failure we are calling it as a fatigue failure. So we need to find out here what is the stress ratio. If the stress ratio is more than 0.44, then the fatigue analysis is required. Is nothing but we need to find out what is the strength of the materials we have used in the construction of the pavement, and in order to resist that the fatigue failure, so what may be the thickness of the pavement, so that we need to find out. So if it is less than 0.44, so then there is no fatigue failure, then the pavement is safe. So we need to find out the stress ratio. Stress ratio is nothing but the ratio of flexural stress to the flexural strength is considered as a stress ratio. If it is more than 0.44, fatigue analysis is required. If it is less than 0.44, so then our pavement is safe. So this is all we are carried out by assuming some particular thickness of the pavement, and by trial and error method the suitable thickness of the pavement has been fixed for the pavement, that is as a design thickness. So these are all the steps we need to follow while designing the rigid pavement here. So the next we can move for the some of the problems which is related to the stresses. So before going to start with that, just I will show you some of the formulas which is listed here. So these formulas are very important. So you can observe here the load stress. So you just fix in your mind what type of the stresses which is existing on the pavement surface, that is wheel load stress, warping stress and frictional stress. Frictional stress and warping stresses are the stresses which is developed because of the variation in the temperature, and wheel load stress is stress which is developed because of the wheel load. Frictional is seasonal variation of the temperature, and warping is the variation of the temperature at the top as well as the bottom layer. So this is very important to remember these formulas. So here in this slide you can observe here there are wheel loads, the load stresses at the interior and edge, and corner. And P is wheel load, H is the thickness of the pavement we are having, and L is the relative stiffness, and B is nothing but contact area on which the load is distributed. So all the parameters we have discussed, and this table or this is purely related to the warping stress, and these formulas which is related to the wheel load stress, and frictional stress is only occurring at the interior. So therefore we are having only one formula to find out the frictional stress. So this is what we are having a table to find out the value of the stress ratio. So sometimes, most of the time, stress ratio is given in the problem. So if it is not given, so we are having the sum of the formula to find out the design life based on the stress ratio. So that is what the list of the tables is here. If SR is less than 0.45, then the design life is unlimited. So because there is no any fatigue failure. So if it is in between 0.45 to 0.5, so then we can use this formula to find out what? To find out the design life. So you can observe here a table has been shown here. So with the different formulas at the different region. So carefully you have to observe here. So very important table, so you can easily understand and you can easily get the formulas. So where so how type of stresses, so how many types of stresses are there? That is wheel load stress is there and temperature stresses are there. In temperature stress, warping stress is there and frictional stress. So and one more thing is modified Westergaard's equations we need to discuss, so that I can the theory I can discuss it later. So means whatever the Westergaard's equation has been given for wheel load, so that has been modified with some parameters. So that formulas we are considering it as a modified Westergaard's equations. So it is the modified Westergaard's equations are available for the edge region as well as the corner. You can observe interior, edge and corner, and this column is related to what? So this is Westergaard's equation for wheel load stress, and this is same Westergaard's equation for modified Westergaard's equation for wheel load, and this is warping stress, that is Westergaard's equation for warping stresses. It is at the interior, edge as well as the corner. This is what interior, this is edge and this is corner, and frictional stress we are having only one formula. So just the same formula what we have seen, so that has been listed in the form of table here, and this is what the formula, that is the maximum stress from the corner. As I told you, so if we are having any pavement, wheel load is acting, the stresses are not exactly developed below the load, so it has been distributed radially. So what is that spacing that has been calculated? X is equal to 2.58 A into L and radius of relative stiffness. So since it is the slide which is consisting of the different formulas that has been used in case of the finding out the stresses. So these are all same thing I have shown. This is wheel load stress formulas and this is the warping stress formulas. Yes, is it clear? Are you following?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then one more thing is, here we need to find out the stress combination based on the season. So that is at the summer season, winter season. So what is the critical stress combination? So why? Because try to imagine this. So if we are having a road surface, vehicles are moving on the road surface, there is a wheel load stress is existing. So along with that, daily there is a variation in the temperature. Because of that, the variation of the temperature at the top as well as the bottom layer is exist. Thereby we are getting the warping stress and frictional stress. So means all the stresses, that is wheel load stress, warping stress and the frictional stresses are simultaneously occurring in the pavement. So in the some of the problems, they may ask you to find out the critical combination of the stresses. So here the some formula is there, that is what that is summation, whether you are adding all the stresses, whether you are deducting all the stresses. So based on that, during the summer season and during the winter season, the critical combination is given. During summer season, we need to add load stress and warping stress, and you have to deduct the frictional stress. And during winter season, we need to add all the stresses. That is purely at what? At the edge region. At the edge region. So what is the critical combination during summer and winter is given, and at the corner region only we are considering the load stress and the warping stress. So we are not going to consider the frictional stress at the corner. So this is what the critical combination of the stresses which is occurring during the different seasons. So this is also important. You need to remember, sometimes they will ask you to find out the critical combination. So these are all some of the things which is required to solve the problems. You can observe here while solving the problem. I will explain with this chart. The two charts are available purely for what? Purely for the wheel load stresses. So means by using chart also we can find out the wheel load stress. By using the equations also you can find out the stresses. So based on the given question. So if they have mentioned you use IRC chart, means you can go through this chart. Otherwise you need to use the whatever the formulas which is available. So these are all the two charts which is available to find out the load stresses at the edge as well as the corner. So it is indicated here 7.23 is the chart which is showing the wheel load stress at the edge, and corner load stress it has been shown in the 7.24. So what is there in this chart? Slab thickness is given. Slab thickness is nothing but thickness of the pavement. The corresponding modulus of subgrade reaction. So whatever the curve we were observing, so this is the modulus of subgrade reaction curve, K value. So they will give in the problem. So and in the y-axis we are having the stresses, where edge of the pavement, that is edge load stress, it is represented by SE. Similarly here corner load stress is there, same thing, x-axis thickness of the pavement, and these curves indicating the modulus of subgrade, and y-axis we are having the stresses. Which stress? Corner load stress. So sometime using chart you need to find out. So otherwise whatever the available equations are there, using that we need to solve the problems. So these are all the things we need to understand while solving the problems which is related to the stresses. So let us move on the simple problems how we are going to solve by using the given data. Okay, let us move for the first problem. So before going to start, just make clear that are you following? Are you understanding the concepts? Yes,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then you can answer. This is what the simple problem. So you may not. So for 4 to 5 marks they may ask you. So compute the radius of relative stiffness. So so what is the best thing is you need to make the list of formulas. So whatever which is related to the stresses. So in that we are having radius of relative thickness formula is there. Then corner, edge and interior we are having the different formulas. So make the list of formulas, so then it is easy. So what is the first problem? You need to find out the radius of relative stiffness. It is represented by L of 15 centimeter thick cement concrete slab from the given data. So modulus of elasticity of the concrete is given, that is E. E is given here. and Poisson's ratio is nothing but mu value is given, and modulus of subgrade reaction K. So 3 and 7.5. For both the 3 as well as the 7.5, we need to find out what? We need to find out the radius of relative stiffness. The direct formula, we are having the radius of relative stiffness. We have discussed in the previous video itself. So that is L is equal to EHQ divided by 2K, 1 minus mu square. So this is what the equation used to find out the radius of relative stiffness. So means, so what do you mean by this radius of relative stiffness means? So whenever the wheel load is acting on a pavement, so there is a bending of the entire slab. So whatever the resistance offered to that bending by the subgrade, so that is what we are calling it as a relative stiffness. So this is what the equation. E value is given, you can see here, kg per centimeter square it is given. So and after that H is given. H is nothing but the thickness of the pavement, 15, and mu is given, Poisson's ratio. K is given, that is for 3 also you need to find out, for 7.5 also you need to find out. Just substitute the value and you need to find out what is the relative stiffness. So that is in terms of centimeters. So we are having the equation, just substitute and find out the value of radius of the relative stiffness. So this is what the simple problem. So here not we are finding out the stresses and all. So what is the thing you need to remember here? This formula. So because in order to find out the stresses, we need this value. L value is required. So for further calculation, so you need to remember this formula. So this is what the simple problem. So next we can move for the different problem on the wheel load stress. So don't get confused. You will come across the problems on wheel load stress, warping stress and frictional stress. So 3 types of stresses we need to find out, and in the same problem we need to find out the different types of stresses. So because in the this is related to the wheel load stress, that is different, but some problems you need to find out stress due to wheel load, stress due to warping stress and stress due to the friction, that too in the different reasons, interior, corner and edge. So this is what the problem purely related with the wheel load stress, because only wheel load is given. Let us discuss this problem, what it is given, how to solve it. So calculate the stresses at interior, edge, corner region for a cement concrete pavement using Westergaard stress equations. So we know that using chart also we can find out, but they have mentioned using Westergaard stress equations using the following data. So all the data are directly given with a notation. Wheel load is given P, modulus of elasticity of cement concrete, pavement thickness, Poisson's ratio, modulus of subgrade reaction and radius of contact area. So along with the notation, the values are given here, right? So this is what the given problem. And first what we need to do, so you can observe at the corner of this slide, wheel load stress we are having 3 formula, interior, edge as well as the corner. So what all the parameters are there in this formula? P is the wheel load stress, H is the thickness of the slab, it is directly available, and L is nothing but what? Radius of relative stiffness, and B is nothing but what? Equivalent resisting section. L and B value you need to find out first. So therefore the radius of relative stiffness, we are having the equation L is equal to E by H, E H cube divided by whatever the equation we are having. E is known, H is known, mu value is known. Just substitute all the values and simplifying, you will get the radius of relative stiffness. So that is L is over. So now the thing is B you need to find out. What do you mean by this B? B is nothing but equivalent resisting section. We have discussed in the theory part. So in order to find out B, first we need to find out the ratio of A by H. A is nothing but what? Radius of contact area, and H is nothing but what? So it is the the thickness of the slab, pavement thickness. So you need to find out A by H ratio first. So if A by H ratio, if it is less than 1.74, so then we can find out the value of B using this formula. If it is greater than 1.74, then B is equal to A itself. This is the condition, we know that. So if it is less than 1.74, we can go for the formula. If it is less than 1.74, so if it is greater than 1.74, then A is equal to B. Since in this problem A by H value is 0.833, it is less than 1.74, therefore equivalent resisting section has been calculated using this formula. B is equal to root 1.6 A square plus H square minus 0.75. This is what the equation we are having. Substitute the values and find out the value of B. So this is the value of B and this is the value of L. So now all the data which is required in this formula is ready. P is known, H is known, L is known, B is known. Just the thing is substitution and simplifying. So very simple problems. What is the important thing? You must know these formulas, 3 formulas. Interior, we are having this equation. P is nothing but wheel load 5100. H is thickness of the slab 18 centimeter. Okay, 18 centimeter only. L is nothing but relative stiffness, what we have calculated, that is 70.6. B is nothing but resisting area, and just substitute the values and calculate. So this is what the 19.3 is the stress is developed at the interior. SI is nothing but interior. Similarly for edge as well as the corner, same formula. So if it is not clear in this, means you just go through the formulas which is there, that is edge as well as the corner. Substitute the formulas, all the things are known. P is known, H is known, L and B. Only there is a multiplication values has been varied here. Substitution and the calculation is there. So by substituting this, we will get the stress at the edge. Similarly, we are getting the stress at the corner. So this is how we are going to find out the stresses at the different region in case of the pavement. Very simple problem. 4 formulas you need to remember: radius of relative thickness and the stresses in the different region of the pavement. This is it clear with this formula, this problem? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So next we can move for some of the simple problem using the chart. So if it is blur is there, means you just go through the textbook. It is available in the Jasta and Kanna textbook. So but it is somewhat it is visible. Just I will go ahead with this. So what is the next problem? Cement concrete pavement is there. The thickness of the pavement is 20 centimeter and it is resting on the water-bound macadam. Modulus of subgrade reaction is given, that is K value. K value, it is 30 kg per centimeter square. So 30 kg per centimeter square is the K value is given. Find the load stress at the edge and corner region under the wheel load of 5100 kg using IRC chart. So that is what the given problem. Here you need to use the IRC charts to find out the stresses at the edge as well as the corner. So in the given problem, what you need to concentrate here, thickness of the pavement, that is H value you need to concentrate, and modulus of subgrade reaction, 30 kg per centimeter is the modulus of subgrade reaction, K value. If H and K is known, you can easily find out the stresses at the edge as well as the corner using the chart. So other things are given here, but it is not necessary. A is given, E is given, modulus of elasticity. So these things are not necessary since you are referring the chart. So we are having the two charts. You can observe edge load stress chart 7.23 and corner load stress chart for that is 7.24. H is 20 and K is 30. Corresponding to this you need to find out what is the value of stresses here. So first we are going to find out what is the value of edge load stress. Is nothing but first graph you need to refer here. So edge load stress, H is nothing but slab thickness, it is 20, is nothing but this point, and K is nothing but modulus of subgrade. Whatever the graph you are observing here, these are all the curves indicating the modulus of subgrade. 30 is nothing but this curve. Just observe here in the figure it is given. This is the corresponding 30 modulus of subgrade and thickness of the pavement is 20. The corresponding value on the y-axis is our stresses in the edge of the pavement. So 20 is there, above 25 is there, it is approximately 22 or 23. So that is in terms of kg per centimeter square. So you can directly write from the figure 7.23 edge load stress chart from IRC code. So we can write the edge load stress for corresponding 20 centimeter thickness of the pavement and the modulus of subgrade 30. The corresponding edge load stress is 22 kg per centimeter square. Similarly, for corner load we need to refer this chart. Same thickness 20, this 20, corresponding, this is what the curve indicating modulus of subgrade of 30, corresponding value is nothing but this one, 25. That is edge load stress is 25 kg per centimeter square, 25 or 25.5. So whatever the value you are getting approximately, since you are referring the chart, so by the chart you can write the two values. So if they have given using the chart means the simple thing for corresponding thickness, so corresponding the modulus of subgrade, what is the stresses which is developed, so that you need to find out here. The same thing has been written, you just observe here. Refer the edge load stress chart for 7.23 and using the K30 and H20, edge load stress is 22. You can observe in this figure 22, and similarly corner load stress is 25.5. Same thing you need to write here. So this is what the simple problem, using IRC chart you are going to find out the stresses. So these problems which is related to the finding out the wheel load stress at the edge, corner as well as the interior using the different chart as well as the formulas. Is it clear with these problems? Have you understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So from the next session we can move for the problems on the warping stresses. So whatever the graph you are observing on this slide, so this is what the graph we are used to find out the value of Cx and Cy which is required to find out the warping stresses. So let us continue with some more problems which is related to the warping stress in the next session.